You are supposed to be left with your own agency to make a decision as to whether you want to do the ritual work to stop that phenomenon from occurring. Nobody should be like, if you don't do this right now, you're going to die. No, not those types of scenarios. It's not appropriate at all. You're saying the sexual abuse, manipulation thing is real. Unfortunately, it is. It definitely happens. 1,000%. It's happening more and more. So much more. I've seen situations where people are even being taken away from, I'm not even going to say taken away, because I still feel like wholeheartedly it's that person's decision unless they have some type of mental health issue. But I've seen scenarios online where a priest has told a female to leave her husband and marry him. She did and left the husband, or I don't know if they married, boyfriend, girlfriend, or what. But she left her mate and went and married the priest. It's sick. It's real sick. And if she, and she could have been mentally ill or just in a space of duress, because that's what often happens when somebody is going through a situation and they're desperately ready to overcome it. Anything somebody tells them, they might just jump on it. And unfortunately, people use manipulation in that way. What should someone do if their boundaries are violated, right? So I'm going to advise that you prioritize your own personal safety. If you feel like you have been violated in any way, disengage from that situation as soon as you possibly can. Seek out counsel from a trusted elder or reputable practitioner if possible or if necessary. It may not be necessary that you go to somebody else right away, or you may be able to take your time depending on the nature of the violation. But if you do need to get help, try to go to someone as soon as you possibly can, because you don't want to stay in a connection like that. If you're feeling off, you're feeling like something isn't right, sit with yourself and make sure that you are listening to your intuition. Also, I suggest documenting the interaction if possible for legal purposes if something comes up later on. What happens if that godparent relationship breaks down after the initiation process? Because it can happen. Even with the best vetting in the world, things can happen. Because obviously people can lie, right? So they can tell you all the things that sound good to you, but then once you go through the process, things can switch up. It doesn't happen in all cases, so I'm not trying to bring doom and gloom. I'm just talking about when these situations do occur, right? And if the initiation process was done properly, it still remains valid. That does not change. But the relational dynamics may need to be reassessed, right? Depending on your circumstances. This can include going through elders or consulting through IFA with somebody else. You may need to formally transition to somebody else or to another situation. You always want to do so respectfully. You always want to do so in a strategic manner, not just jumping up, leaving the situation. But yeah, you definitely want to take your time, and you definitely want to go ahead and transition when necessary. And you want to do it in a way that is going to be conducive for you. You say, yes, I saw a few videos of women claiming abuse. Unfortunately, that is rampant. It happens a lot with women because a lot of people are trying to get green cards. I don't even want to say Babalawos because all of them aren't legitimate Babalawos even so, right? Yeah, it's absolutely necessary to vet people. That's another thing. This is why I'm so heavy on the educational component, because you being educated and knowing what you're supposed to be getting, and then you go in and you see things and you hear things and you realize this isn't right, then you can easily transition from that situation. But if you don't know what you don't know, which was the case for me, I did do some studying, but I realized after the fact, like most of the stuff that I had came across, especially during that time frame, because it wasn't still not a whole lot. of resources available from Isheshe practitioners, but a lot of stuff that I had gotten a hold of beforehand was from the Lukumi and the Santeria traditions and a lot of blended practices and so forth and so on. So, you definitely want to get educated and know what you are going through because, like I said, a lot of this stuff, ladies, it's not even about a romance. It's not even about sex. You might be thinking it's that, but it's not even about that. Most of the time, that's about people trying to get green cards. And again, it is not even always Babaláwo. Well, the reality is it's not a true, authentic Babaláwo at all, really, because a true, authentic Babaláwo is not going to operate like that. They're going to walk in evil color. But you have people perpetrating. You have a lot of scammers, a lot of fraudsters, right? There's situations where some people are not even Yoruba, not so much as even Yoruba, right? And they are perpetrating to be Yoruba, perpetrating to be an Ifa priest. But if you don't know what you don't know, they could be even speaking stuff to you in another language. They could be Igbo or Hausa or some other tribe, whatever it may be, right? Fulani, et cetera, et cetera. And you're thinking that you're getting the real deal when you're not. It could be somebody not even Nigerian, not like a black Nigerian. It could be somebody on the other end who is Indian or Pakistani in Nigeria with a, 2, 3, 4 country code or what have you connecting with you, and they know just enough of the language or just enough of the process to fool you, because if you don't know what you're doing, that's when you can catch a lot of problems. That's why you do want to be careful with people who are just reaching out to you via DMs and stuff like that, because as I said before, me personally, I'm not keen about people just reaching out to me, cold reaching out to me or soliciting me via DM. Like, I don't like that kind of stuff at all. I'm not going to say that it's completely wrong for a Babaláwo to do, because part of it is just bringing awareness to who they are and what they do. So there is some legitimacy in that, but you have to watch the way that it's done. If somebody's just coming in, introducing themselves, hi, I'm Babaláwo, such and such, if you're looking for these services, I offer them, and then they roll out, that's okay. But if somebody coming into your DM, which I get, unfortunately, I probably still get it, but I haven't checked my DMs in forever. When somebody jumps in your DM and saying, oh, I see you got some kind of evil spirit on you, or, your ancestors are trying to connect with you or talk to you. If somebody's presenting something in a way that they're already doing a reading on you, just block them. That's the best thing that you could ever do for yourself in a situation like that. To just totally block them, because that is not Ifa traditional practice whatsoever. Because nobody can do a reading on you if they don't have your details. They can't do a proper reading on you if they don't have all of your details, and they're not even supposed to, even if they have your details, like just to do a random reading on somebody that shouldn't be happening.